Coming up, We the People. We'll explain the three branches of government and what the president's cabinet does. Also, Sim for STEM. One program is hoping to drive interest in sim racing, auto racing, and STEM education for girls.
To build the steering wheel, we had to all work together. I've driven an awesome race car and learned how to build a wheel and done these awesome science experiments because I did STEM.
Then meet Bo the Bloodhound, a hero dog with an important mission. And triplets. We're in Nebraska with our picture of the week. Plus, Patch Project. One boy is bringing joy to cancer patients in a creative way.
For me, it was like a suit of armor, and it was kind of like an icebreaker, because when I was walking through the hospital, like, oh, you have an ice cream patch. Since this makes me feel so good, what if we did it for other kids?
And Wicked.
You're green.
I am.
The film adaptation of the hit Broadway musical is set to hit theaters next week. Our Kids Edition correspondent Lennox is here with a preview.
My favorite thing about Wicked is that we can all identify pieces of ourselves within both Elphaba and Galinda.
Jeff, how was your Wizard of Oz different from the OG in 1939?
Great question. Did you ever see that movie, the 1939 movie?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it a couple of times.
Mine's different because now it's taken from the play.
This is NBC Nightly News, Kids Edition.
Welcome back to Nightly News Kids Edition. It's great to be with you. We've got a terrific lineup ahead, from red pandas to the results of a wild election. Plus, a little later on, we'll hear from the cast of the new movie, Wicked.
What lesson can kids learn from the movie?
I think a great one is friendship and reaching out to somebody who you may not necessarily have thought would be your friend, and maybe somebody who is a bit of an outsider, who maybe is being picked on. Being the first one to extend a hand, I think that's a great important theme within Wicked.
But let's begin in Washington, D.C. This week, President Joe Biden met with President-elect Donald Trump at the White House. This meeting comes as President-elect Trump is starting to pick members of his cabinet ahead of his inauguration in January. And it got us thinking about all that goes into the transfer of power from one president to the next. For more than 200 years, the White House has stood as a symbol of the presidency and the United States of America. It's also the place the president calls home while in office.
One of the many things that are unique about the American system is our transfer of power. The president who is in the White House will give up power on exactly the right day, Inauguration Day.
But before a new president is sworn in, there is a lot to do.
For instance, this week we see President Biden meeting with President-elect Trump at the White House, talking about some of the issues that are pending.
Among the top priorities of the new incoming president is selecting the cabinet. Did you know the tradition of the cabinet dates back to the beginnings of the presidency? The president's cabinet includes the vice president and heads of 15 executive departments who will advise the president.
A president depends on departments of the executive branch to help him be president. The State Department helps him with foreign policy. The Defense Department helps him in dealing with military affairs around the world.
Most of the department heads have the title of secretary and are nominated by the president and must be confirmed by the U.S. Senate. That usually happens after the inauguration, unless exceptions are made. But why? Well, our founding fathers didn't want one individual or group to have too much power, so they established three branches of government. The president, vice president, and executive departments are part of the executive branch, enforcing the laws. The legislative branch proposes, debates, and makes laws. That's Congress, which is made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives, who represent the people. And the judicial branch interprets laws and can change how laws are applied. The U.S. Supreme Court is part of this branch. The U.S. Constitution says it takes more than one branch of government to make or change a law or make some other important decisions.
We are now watching a pageant of democracy. If we see a president-elect announcing cabinet nominations and a Senate and House beginning to think about what the policies and the people should be, and the judicial system working in concert with the others and also checking the president in terms of where he may exceed his power, then democracy is working well.
A government by the people and for the people. Okay, time now for our pop quiz. The question this week, what is the name of the room inside the White House where the president works? Is it A, Oval Office, B, Square Office, or C, Blue Room? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Okay, time's up. The answer is A, Oval Office. The Oval Office has served as the primary presidential workspace for many decades. All right, switching gears now. Have you ever wondered what it takes to become a race car driver? Well, our next story takes us to Indianapolis, home of the famous Indy 500. Our sponsor, Walton Family Foundation, introduced us to one program where girls are using math and science to get on the fast track to success. Let's get details from our friend Savannah Sellers.
From the track
I need everybody to turn to page 4.
to the classroom, these kids are using math and engineering to learn how to make race cars go faster.
Good, there you go.
It's part of a program called Sim for STEM.
Welcome, we are super happy to have you here.
Started by former professional motocross racer Steffi Bao and her business partner, Nikki Daly, a former Olympic field hockey player and motorsport engineer.
You're going to actually break down what's inside a steering wheel.
Nikki and I, we ended up meeting through racing because passion brings people together.
The goal? To drive interest and understanding in sim racing, motor racing, and STEM education for girls.
Growing up, thinking that everybody's equal, it's very important.
STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math.
All important things that you need in a motorsport team to be able to succeed. So a simulator is, like the word say, it's a simulation of a racetrack.
10-year-old Kyron is learning the fundamentals of car racing using tech and teamwork.
To build the steering wheel, we had to all work together.
Okay, let me get black.
The girls also test different tire pressures.
If you have less air in your tires, it has more friction, which makes it harder to go fast. We have to put more air in there so it can go faster.
Calculate the fastest way around the track.
We use mathematics to be able to learn that.
And then practice everything on the simulators.
It was kind of like driving a car, but we went super fast.
It might look like a video game, but Steffi says this is the real deal.
You can do anything and everything that you will be doing in real life. So you can change the tire pressure, you can change the level of the car, you can get all the data from the game, just like an engineer does in real life.
Sim for STEM partners with the Girl Scouts of America, who have several programs like this around the country. Danielle Shockey is the CEO of Girl Scouts of Indiana. She says it's not always easy for girls to break through.
Right now, girls only represent 35% of graduating high school seniors going into STEM fields.
There's not a lot of girls in race car driving, so there's more boys in the race car driving.
There's girls who didn't know they could be a race car driver because that was supposed to be for boys and men. So that's what we're hoping to change.
Something Steffi knows from her own experiences.
When I started racing motocross, I was the only little girl.
Today, there are a lot more. Drivers like Danica Patrick and Jamie Chadwick are paving the way.
My plan is to get a degree in mechanical engineering.
And that has had a huge impact on Victoria Mello.
The only way these cars are able to go around so quickly is because of math and science and engineering, figuring out the heartbeat of the car.
She joined the program when she was 14.
I've always known I wanted to be in some sort of engineering
Now, she's a junior in high school, interning at Formula One.
In my future, I'm hoping to become an engineer for Formula One.
I think a program like this opens girls' eyes to things that they may not otherwise see themselves in. So racing, pilots, aviation, logistics, all of those spaces are places where women are underrepresented. They can see it, so they can be it.
Royal is ready to be it.
My favorite thing about racing is I like to compete.
And the track of the Indy Speedway is where science, tech, engineering, and math all come together.
Today, they're having the drivers come around and do at least 100 laps and looking how they can improve their car for next season. Sim for STEM really brings them out and lets girls see that it's possible and you can do it.
These girls are driving the future with no signs of slowing down.
I've driven an awesome race car and learned how to build a wheel and done these awesome science experiments because I did STEM.
If you want to do it, believe in yourself. You can do it. It's amazing and it's really fun.
Okay, Savannah, thanks for that. Well, there is one member of a North Carolina police department who is sniffing for clues and helping solve crimes. His name is Bo, and he was just named Top Hero Police Pup. Let's get details from our friend Ann Thompson.
Meet Canine Bo, the bloodhound who's capturing the hearts of America.
I think what makes Bo so special is his superpower, which is his nose, which also makes him very curious.
It's that superpower and curious nature that helped earn Bo a big honor. The 19-month-old was just named the American Humane Hero Dog of the Year for his work solving crimes and saving lives. Bo is part of the Gastonia Police Department in North Carolina, the first bloodhound to join the force, working alongside Sergeant David Rowland.
These dogs are known exclusively for their tracking ability and, more importantly, their scent power of their nose.
Good boy.
So all he does at our police department is he tracks missing persons, endangered people, and even criminal suspects.
Easy.
Bloodhounds are bred primarily for tracking. Roland brought the pup home when he was just 8 weeks old and started training him immediately with the help of his kids.
If Bo is called to the scene of a missing person, normally what we would start with is a pillowcase or an item belonging to the missing person, because that item contains scent particles belonging to that person. And Bo, because his nose is so powerful, he's one of the only canines that can do something called scent-specific tracking, meaning he can lock in on your odor and eliminate all other odors that are in the area, and he can track that unique odor.
Bo is able to pick up even very small and faint odors. No matter the environment, the police pup will lock in on the odor and track it until he finds the source of the odor, which Sergeant Rowland says is normally the missing person.
So as you're walking down the street, you're actually shedding skin molecules which contain odor. And so Bo, when he starts sniffing, he's able to pick up those odors from those molecules. And his ears here, they're very, very long, and everybody likes to laugh at them because they're so long. Well, what his ears actually do is when his nose is on the ground, those ears will drag across the ground, and it kicks up any molecules that are actually attached to the grass, the concrete, and any other surface that he's tracking through. And then all of these skin folds that are around his neck and his nose, all around his eyes, what those do is as the scent gets kicked up, it actually gets trapped in these folds, and it gets pushed up towards his nostrils when he sniffs, because he's able to sniff about 3 to 4 times every single second. So he's able to trap all that odor right there in his face, and that's what makes him so successful as a tracking dog.
And what happens when Bo locates who he's looking for?
He's a non-apprehension dog. He doesn't bite, and so a lot of the times when he finds whoever he's looking for, whether it's a good guy, a bad guy, Bo will give them kisses regardless of who they are.
When this lovable four-legged crime fighter isn't working, he enjoys playing and time at home with his family, but remains dedicated to his craft.
Everywhere we go, Bo is always wanting to sniff out new odors, experience new things. Sometimes he's scared, but a lot of the times when Bo's tracking, Bo puts on that suit of armor, so to speak, and he becomes very brave. And I think that's something that everybody can take something away from, that, you know, sometimes you have to do things that make you uncomfortable and it may scare you, but when you're doing the right thing, you have to be brave.
A brave hero protecting and serving his community.
Okay, and thanks very much. And Bo, way to go. Okay, time for our picture of the week. The Lincoln Children's Zoo in Nebraska just welcomed 3 red panda cubs. The triplets, 2 males and a female, were born back in August. We're told they're healthy and thriving and spending all of their time behind the scenes with mom as they grow and develop. Red pandas are an endangered species, and their population has declined by about 50% over the past 20 years alone. The zoo staff says the birth of these triplets is important for animal conservation efforts around the globe. Welcome to the world. They are so cute. And while we're on the subject of red pandas, the results are in. Mayor Barry, the red panda, just won the animal mayoral race at Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo last week. Barry beat out 5 other candidates. The public was invited to vote. The nonprofit zoo says vote donations go directly to help fund research, education, and conservation efforts. We're told Mayor Barry has positive plans for the future. What a wild election. Turning now to this week's Kids Spotlight and what promises to be a wickedly good time. The film adaptation of the hit Broadway musical Wicked hits theaters next week. Our Kids Edition correspondent Lennox had a chance to speak with some of the cast and is here now with a preview.
You're green.
I am. It's based on one of the most beloved stories in pop culture. Wicked starring Oscar-nominated actress Cynthia Erivo and pop star Ariana Grande is sure to be popular with a new generation of fans. You're gonna be popular. The movie is a prequel to the original novel and film, The Wizard of Oz, with Ariana as Glinda, the Good Witch, and Cynthia killing it as Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West. In this new adaptation, the 2 Grammy-winning divas slayed as co-ed witches in the land of Oz, forced to be roommates who at first don't get along.
My favorite thing about Wicked is that we can all identify pieces of ourselves within both Elphaba and Glinda.
Glinda, always pretty in pink, develops an unlikely friendship with Elphaba, whose unusual powers and green skin makes her a target for the mean girls.
It seems the artichoke is steamed.
But once she discovers how to use her magic, Elphaba becomes one bad witch you don't want to mess with.
Don't be afraid.
It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
Throughout the movie, Elphaba and Glinda deal with a lot of the same issues facing kids today. Teasing, peer pressure, acceptance, and the true meaning of friendship.
I think that we are all deserving of friendship and kindness and love and good things, no matter who we are. And I think that this is one of those pieces that is teaching that celebrates that.
Like Elphaba and Glinda.
Just follow the road.
I also traveled to the Emerald City to visit the Wizard of Oz, played by Hollywood legend Jeff Goldblum.
Who are you? And why do you seek me?
You know how old I am? 97. Which is the new...
97 is crazy.
Yeah, 97 is the new 107.
That's
true. Yeah, so...
I thought you were at least in like 5th day.
Sorry about all that. I didn't mean to startle you.
Jeff, how was your Wizard of Oz different from the OG in 1939?
Great question. Did you ever see that movie, the 1939 movie?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it like a couple of times.
Mine's different because now it's taken from the play, Wicked. Did you ever see the play, Wicked?
No, I've never seen
That's
it.
fantastic. It's a musical, and this is a movie version of that musical. You know, tried to make it my own, just tried to make it a little bit different.
Growing up, Jeff Goldblum was a big fan of The Wizard of Oz, the classic movie that started it all. 85 years later, he's still singing its praises.
I'll sing it with you. Ready?
Sun in the rainbow.
That's it.
Somewhere in the rainbow.
Yeah.
And I think it was like down low.
Yeah.
I know because I don't remember it.
No, you've got it. Dancing through life, swaying and sweeping, and always keeping cool.
Jonathan Bailey plays Prince Fiero, a dude with lots of riz.
Jonathan, you have some killer dance moves, and your singing was on point. I think the girls are gonna love it. Were you nervous at all?
Well, I was definitely nervous, but I practiced as hard as I could. Doing a musical like this, and with Ariana and Cynthia, their talent is unbelievable. But yet still, even with their talent, they were working so hard.
Listen, Nessa.
Yes?
Nessa?
Other characters include Bach from Munchkinland, played by Ethan Slater.
Bach is very, very, very in love with Galinda. But Galinda doesn't feel the same way about him. She's kind of like, we're just going to be friends.
So he turns his attention to Marissa Baudi's character. She plays Elphaba's younger sister, Nessa, who is paraplegic and uses a wheelchair. Something the actress and her character both have in common.
It's because I'm in this chair and you felt sorry for me.
I have a lot of experience as an authentic wheelchair user. The real challenge being in a wheelchair is inaccessibility. And so having a team there that was very thoughtful in making sure that I was okay and had everything I needed in terms of accommodations, that was really great.
What lesson can kids learn from the movie?
I think a great one is friendship and reaching out to somebody who you may not necessarily have thought would be your friend, and maybe somebody who is a bit of an outsider, who maybe is being picked on. Being the first one to extend a hand, I think that's a great important theme within Wicked.
With so much more magic, music, and story to tell, Wicked 2 is already in the works.
The wizard that there is or was is ever gonna bring me down.
For Nightly News Kids Edition, I'm Lennox. Back to you, Lester.
Okay, Lennox, that was terrific. Thanks so much. Wicked opens in theaters nationwide on November 22nd. The movie is rated PG, partly because of some scary action, so check with a parent or grown-up before watching. And we should note Wicked is produced by Universal Pictures, part of our parent company, NBC Universal. All right, finally in our Inspiring Kids series, one boy is using his personal health journey to support other kids in need. Let's get details from our friend Kate Snow.
Oliver Burkhart was 9 when he started feeling strange during the COVID pandemic.
My mom heard me breathing heavily, like...
Yeah. He was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia.
We weren't in a hospital, we were on the sofa, right? And it was COVID, so it was like that lockdown on top of lockdown. So for us, my wife really was like, we need to do something to get him off the sofa.
His parents got creative.
People were asking what they could give us, so we decided, why not patches? And in the first month, we got over 2,000 patches in the mail.
Wow. So you were like, oh, patches would be fun, and then you got flooded with patches. Did you put them on a jacket?
Oh yeah, this is actually my original jacket. For me, it was like a suit of armor, and it was kind of like an icebreaker, because when I was walking through the hospital, like, oh, you have an ice cream patch. You like ice cream? I like ice cream too.
And then one day, he and Dad had an idea.
Since this makes me feel so good, what if we did it for other kids?
They reached out to artists to design patches and spread word that any kid fighting cancer could choose patches for a jacket or tote bag through the nonprofit Oliver Patch Project.
It was really fun to watch her receive that initial pack of patches.
4-year-old Paisley is cancer-free now. She started receiving patches 2 years ago after her mom, Jess, learned about the project.
Which one's your favorite?
Ballerina.
It's a ballerina. Oh, it's beautiful. Did you pick it?
Yeah.
Paisley, do you think that other little kids would like to have a jacket like you have? What did she whisper, Mom?
She whispered, 'cause it's cool.
The Oliver Patch Project has expanded. Now anyone can send a patch of love and support to any kid who needs it, whatever the mental or physical health challenge.
They continue to have touch points throughout our children's journey, and that has also been special. Like, we're still here. We're still here.
Oliver is a healthy 13-year-old now. They've sent out 60,000 patches.
It feels good to do good.
We always say that, we don't know what anyone is going through. And if you can just love and provide support and empower them, there's never too much love, right?
Thanks, Kate. And we're told the Oliver Patch Project has sent patches out to all 50 states and is hoping to expand beyond the United States in the near future. That's pretty awesome. Well, that is going to do it for us parents. Just a reminder, if your child has a question about any topic in the news, email a video to us at nightlynewskids@nbcuni.com, and we'll try to answer them in an upcoming episode. You can also follow us on Instagram @NightlyKids. And just a program note, you can catch Nightly News Kids Edition this Saturday on NBC. Check the local listings for the time in your area. Thanks for watching, and remember, guys, take care of yourself and each other. So long.